Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. Welcome back to Work Guitars. Good to talk to you again. I think it's been 2 weeks since I did a video. I don't know, I'm not sure. I get busy sometimes and I forget, man, I need to do a video. You guys have been nice enough to subscribe to the channel, so obviously I need to put some content out, right? But sometimes I get really busy and I'm just cruising along and I'm trying to get things done. But I need to remember to do that. So let me show you where we are so far on the last couple of builds that we started on. This is the bass for Steve Budoweski. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, Steve. Let me know if I'm not, or Al. This is black Lemba, very pretty, nice carved top. Two great pickups, Seymour Duncan pickups, active EQ. And we have this beautiful maple, sapele, and purple heart neck laminated. Of course, we'll put our hot rod truss rod in there, and we'll have our 5-string headstock. And that looks like, hang on, let me grab that. That looks like this. This is our 5-string headstock shape. And I do that after, I'm going to have to glue a couple of wings on here, to cover where the width of the headstock wasn't quite right, but that's okay. And then, because we're going to put a head plate on, and it'll cover any joint that may be in there, on the front of the headstock, or the head plate, I should say. So, that's going to be very cool looking. We got that one going. We're very close. Matter of fact, I just got this in the mail today. So let's open this up. This is the fretboard for this bass, actually. And I ordered this, and hopefully it looks really good. They look great. Everything looks great in a picture online, but then sometimes when you get it, you're like, not so great. Let's see. Hopefully we're good. I need one more because I actually have another neck here that goes in a mahogany body. This one is mahogany and sapele. I actually started out with just two mahogany and sapele. I mean to say mahogany and purple heart. I actually started out with a neck for this particular bass with two laminations of purple heart in it, and it did not do well. It went a little crazy on me when I started machining it, which wood tends to do from time to time. Sometimes things, if you take a lot off of the back of a piece of wood, obviously this piece of wood started out at 1 3/4 of an inch thick. You take all this material off the back of one side of a piece of wood, sometimes they get a little weird. Another reason why I laminate necks, because it creates a lot of strength and allows that quarter sawn, grain axis. Because all of your grain is running straight up and down like this through the end grain, quarter sawn, right? So another good reason to do that is just the overall strength of the neck. It creates a very, very, I'm putting some weight on that. That's strong, you know what I mean? That's got some ass to it. So that's a good reason to do that, and that's why I do that on these bass necks, especially because they're heavy duty. So anyway, let's see what this looks like. Looks good so far. This is Gaboon ebony. I prefer Macassar ebony, but Macassar ebony is kind of hard to find sometimes. It's weird. Sometimes it'll just be there. Like I buy from a couple of people on eBay. I buy from Kimball Hardwoods. I buy from a bunch of different people. And sometimes the wood I want is there, and sometimes it's not. This looks really nice. This is a nice looking piece. It's got a little figure in it. Oh yeah, that looks nice. That's a good looking piece. And that's wide enough and long enough to get a really nice bass neck out of. Got plenty of wood there. Good 5-string bass neck. You can get plenty of ebony to make bass necks, and even StewMac sells it, but for a 4-string. If you want a 5-string or a 6-string, then you gotta go looking. But this is nice. That's a very nice looking piece of ebony right there. Gaboon. It rings like crazy. Very nice stuff. So we have our bass fretboard, and I'll get on that this weekend. I've already done all of the tool paths. I've done the drawing. We're going to do a very cool deer head with antlers on 12, and then deer hooves on the rest of the frets for the fret markers. And that's going to be really cool looking. I can't wait to see that. And anyway, we'll get into this a little later. So that's where we are on the 5-string bass for Steve. And let me show you where the Nomad is. You guys have been watching along with the Nomad build. Probably curious as to where that is. Let me get that out and show you where we are. You know, you saw the video of me putting the first coats of color on it and blending the turquoise into the blue. And then what I do, hold on, let me grab it. A lot of people do that with just the dye stain, and they use Angelus stains. This was actually Angelus dyes, were actually created originally for shoes, for leather dye, but it works really nicely on wood. And you can get some very cool, vibrant colors. So what I do is I put the stain on, if I'm using a dye stain, and I'm trying to do a blend. A lot of times I don't do it with the dye stain. A lot of times if I'm doing a burst, I put the base color on and then I spray the burst. I feel like I can get more control like that, but a lot of guys are really good with the dye stain. So you saw how it was before. This is how it looks now. So what I like to do is I like to do the dye stain, do whatever blending I'm going to do with that, if I do it that way. Like I say, I don't normally. Very seldom do I do it that way. Then I come back and I add dye into the lacquer. This has got a nitro lacquer finish on top of it. And so what I did here was, if you'll go back and compare, I got gnats flying around that time of the year. If you'll go back and compare, take a peek at it on the other video, and I'll maybe even try to put a link on it on this video, you'll see the color then, and this is the color now. What I did after I put that dye stain on and blended it was I mixed turquoise dye in lacquer, and I went over it 3 or 4 times with a very light coat of turquoise dye in lacquer. I mean, super light coat. It wasn't like a vibrant dark color or anything, but a wash coat more or less, you know, like if you're doing watercolors, a wash coat. And I did that all around the outside first to bring in that blend of that blue into the turquoise, and the same thing on the headstock. Right? And then I went over the whole thing with, I got a little place I got to do a drop in right there. I wish I'd have caught that before I put lacquer on it, but we can catch it with a little drop. Then after I did that with the dye and the lacquer, I just went over the whole thing with the turquoise, and that brings the vibrance out in the colors and really pulls them all together. Then I wanted to blend the blue just a little more, and I came back and put blue dye in the lacquer and just did a little dusting around the outside edges. Maybe one day I'll try to do a video of that. You know, it's kind of hard to video in the spray room. But that's what we end up looking like. That's the color. And I'm liking it. I'm digging that. It looks good, I think. I love that. It's a nice looking color. So this is where we are, and I got the headstock pretty much good to go. As you can see, I taped off the back of the headstock because the whole rest of the body, including the neck, is going to be oil, gun oil, gun stock oil. This stuff, true oil. True oil is what I'm trying to say, but I can't get it to come out. The Birchwood Casey True Oil. This is good stuff. Someone told me that that's actually linseed oil in polyurethane. I don't know if that's true or not, but it may be. But that's what we're going to do. That's why this is taped off like this on the rest of the body and the neck. So what I do, because I'm going to be putting decals on the back and on the headstock, because I can't do an inlay in a color like that, so I'm going to be doing the Worth decals on the headstock. I tape that off like that and put lacquer on the back of the headstock. And then that way I can put the decals on, spray over it, 2 or 3 coats to make the decal underneath the finish. And then I'll take all this stuff back off, sand it real well, get all the tape goo off of it, and start oiling it. And then we can do the edge for the top like we did the headstock. So you'll get that accent like that, the scraped edge. Right? So that's where we're at. And I'm really liking that color. That looks really nice. All right, so that's where we are on these two builds. Let's see, I have next coming up, we have, let's see, where are we? We got Rob Judalena, a single cutaway, and a single cutaway for Scott, and a Celine for Micah Payne, and a Celine for James Mullenbrock. That's the next 4 builds coming up. So we got some very cool builds coming up. I can't wait to do those. And I think that's all I have for you today. This is just a quick video to show you where we're at on the Nomad build. I'm going to actually do another video probably tomorrow on this build here. Let me grab this guitar. This is a guitar we built for PJ Lilla, Patrick Lilla. And we're having a little bit of trouble with the frets. A couple of the frets have moved, and I need to do a little bit of fret work on it. When I did this guitar, this has a really pretty neck on it. And I did this figured fretboard. I found that in this particular wood here, and I think this is longleaf maple, it's a little bit softer than I would like for it to be. I don't really like maple fretboards. You know, they put lacquer all over them, and I guess that's to try and harden them up or something, but maple fretboards to me are a little bit too soft. And I don't know, it just seemed like, especially where the medullary rays are with the light and dark, it seemed like the lighter wood was actually a lot softer. And I think maybe the fret got pushed down a little too hard in some areas because the density of the fretboard itself is not equal all the way across. But I'm going to come back in here. What I'm going to do is level the frets, and I'm going to reinforce underneath the frets with some CA glue and try and strengthen up all that up underneath there, which it will. CA glue is great for that. If you have soft wood anywhere or little cracks and stuff, you can reinforce it with CA glue, man, and just hardens up really nice. So that's what we're going to be doing on this, and I'll probably do a video of that. This is a really great guitar, and so we need to get it back in service and get Patrick out there rocking on this. Patrick plays for a great band called Tailgate Down, country rock band. Good stuff. So that's where we are, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your comments. The comments are cool. I get some good comments. I get some not so good comments. Some people say I don't know what I'm doing. Other people say it looks great, keep going. I get some guys that just go, yeah, you know, and that's okay. Because look, what I'm doing, there are a lot of people out there doing it. There are a lot of people building guitars, you know, and there's really no secrets. We all do a lot of the same things. And so I appreciate you stopping by to watch how I do it and what we do. And, you know, so like and subscribe and all that stuff. Hit the like button, man. The like button helps us out a lot. Okay? I don't know why, but it does. All right. We'll see you guys out there somewhere. Go out there this weekend and see some bands and be safe and be good to each other. And we'll see you later. Peace. Worth Guitars. Bye now.